And then where do they fall down? Movies from comic books. One
Yes.
problem they have, they start out really, really well. Spider-Man. And then 3 movies down the line, they're still doing the same freaking movie.
Yeah. Whoops.
Enough already with MJ in Peril.
Now,
You do
part of
it
the
3
problem-
times in a row, you've done the same movie 3 times.
I mean, the first and second Spider-Man movies were great. Third one fell down. Part of the reason the third Spider-Man movie fell down because they tried to squeeze in too much.
Yeah.
As I read online, somebody up high told Sam Raimi that you really need to squeeze in Venom because he's such a well-known and popular villain. So but Sam Raimi apparently didn't care for Venom himself. He was more into the old Spider-Man villains, and Venom was he's one of the newer ones actually. So he shoehorned him in, but it didn't quite work.
Now, that could be a problem with a lot of different kinds of movies. The people on high and the people actually doing the work have a disagreement on how it should be done.
Yes.
And because the folks on high are the ones that are supplying the money, folks down doing the work have to do something to please them.
Yes.
Now, a good many parts of this are quite good. They're fun to watch. But
Yes.
it was too much. When they had to squeeze in Venom, they should have taken out one of the other villains. I can't
Yes.
remember who the other 2 were.
Sandman
I
and the second Green Goblin.
But see, they've been waiting to get back to Gabi for a while,
Yeah,
too.
I mean, they've been setting up Gabi since
since the first movie. So they had to get
they
back
had the
to
original
it.
Gabi, and then they built up in the second movie that oh dear, what's the son's name? Harry was going
Harry.
to be the next Goblin.
Yeah. And he
So,
was. I mean, in the comic books, he was.
Really, that Venom should have been held for like a 4th movie or something. I don't know. Or
Now,
Sandman should have been held off.
Third movies that kind of crash and burn. X-Men 3. That should have been gut-wrenching in some places, and it just isn't.
Part of what happened there is that the director left and they got a different
Yeah,
director
Bryan
in.
Singer should not have left.
For shame on you, Mr. Singer.
Shame on you, Brian.
Those who understand, he's coming back for the next Wolverine movie, so yay!
So maybe, yeah. Again, casting, what they did right. Wolverine, oh my God.
Yeah, we first hear about this, like, who the hell is Hugh Jackman?
Contrary-wise, casting where they really screwed up, FF. Johnny Storm carries the thing, practically by himself.
He was
Chris
perfect.
Evans is gorgeous, and he's perfect, and he's funny, and he's wonderful.
Michael Chiklis as the Thing, he is great.
Great, absolutely perfect. What's the guy's name who played Reed? Ian something. I can't read that.
I forget. Well, anyhow.
Anyway, the
Mr.
guy who played
Fantastic.
Reed was
He was great.
Mr. Fantastic. He was fabulous. He was wonderful.
The
He was
problem
perfect. The problem was
Sue.
her.
Jessica Alba. She fit the spandex. She did not fit the role.
In any particular.
She was too young. She just didn't pull off scientist well.
Well, she just cannot exude enormous brilliance.
Nope.
They
No
needed
offense to
they
her.
needed Amanda Tapping, who at about 33 or 4
Yes.
years of age. Amanda Tapping was busy, sorry, and older than that.
And
But
basically,
now they say they're going to reboot that. They have to reboot it because they're putting together that Avengers movie, and Chris Evans, who was Johnny Storm, is now going to be Captain America. So now they need
That
to
should be
do a
fun.
new FF. So who knows what they'll do? Hopefully this time they will stop concentrating on how hot some gal looks in the spandex and get somebody who can really, 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 really act the part.
I know some people will be disappointed in that, but you know what? I don't care how hot the guy is in the spandex or the leather. If he doesn't act well, we're actually going to be nice body. Go be a swimsuit model or something.
Thank you.
You can't act.
And who have we got over here?
That's the
More
X-Men.
X-Men.
Here we
X-Men.
hear. Now, actually, one of the things they're doing very well with the Avengers movie.
Oops.
is the interweaving of the various movies because there's
At the end of Iron Man, there was the little blip with Nick Fury.
Yes.
At the end of Hulk, there's another little blip with
Tony Stark
Tony
coming
Stark
in to talk to
coming
the
in
general.
to talk to the general.
That was fun. In the theater, we're watching this. And then comes Tony Stark, who is still Robert Downey Jr., because Robert won't let it go. Good for him. But anyway, he comes in, and the general identifies him as Tony Stark. And we hear this little voice, must have been a kid about 5 years old, maybe, say, Iron Man? It's like, yes, they exist in the same universe. And clear this child's education in all things awesome is coming along nicely.
Yes.
And at the end of the second Iron Man movie, there's another little cookie you didn't see that connects into the upcoming Thor movie. We've seen the trailer for that one. The trailer, at the very least, looks very promising.
Yeah.
How well the movie actually will be, we'll have to wait and see.
Because I understand, and I don't know if this will mean anything to you, I have heard that Don Blake isn't in it. And Don Blake is Thor's secret identity.
So
But
how
it
the
would
hell
have
is that going to work?
Well, it would have required a second actor.
Well, yeah.
Because Don Blake is not a big, beefy guy.
No.
And they didn't
He's
want to hire
sorta
two actors.
house.
So I don't know what they're going to do. Now, some of them... Now, the Hellboy movies. The Hellboy movies are great. We love them to death. I don't know if the rest of the world thinks so, but they're big hits, so I guess so. Now, here's a couple that crashed and burned at the box office. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Watchmen. We love League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
We hated The Watchmen. I understand it is extremely faithful to the comic book. We had not read the comic book.
Now, we hadn't read any of the Hellboy comics either. We still love those movies.
Yeah.
But
Basically,
that one,
and not only is it not fun to watch, it's just freaking creepy.
creepy and depressing.
And depressing.
Just, we want heroes who are actually heroes. Thank you kindly. The occasional anti-hero is one thing. This is too much.
Yeah. We love Ghost Rider,
Okay, it's campy, but
but it's fun, and we adore it.
yes. As one reviewer online said, it's not going to be a movie that makes you think a lot. And if somebody else came back with, I don't want to think, I want a flaming chain whip.
And Nick Cage.
Yes. And there's one scene in Ghost Rider that is just, we find beautiful. Just
Yeah.
gives us goosebumps.
Bumps.
Motorcycle and horse racing across the desert.
Two Ghost Riders, side by side, to the tune of Ghost Riders in the Sky,
More or less.
more or less. And one more, Superman Returns. Now, the Chris Reeve Superman movies are wonderful. They are fabulous.
Yes.
This has a lot of that in them, but somehow, for us at least,
work.
it's swashbuckled. And we think it's because they went for somebody who looked too much like Chris Reeve, but did not have that special charisma that Chris has.
That warmth, that sparkle.
Sparkle, that something.
Also, after several years of Lois and Clark and Smallville, we were used to a Lex Luthor who was actually threatening.
Yes.
The Lex Luthor in the original Chris Reeve movies and in Superman Returns, although dangerous, comes off more as a buffoon.
As a buffoon. And especially after years and years of Smallville, where these are people who are
Yes.
going to become an empty Luthor who's just a bragging gas bag is just, it just doesn't work. Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor is so brilliant, a piece of work.
Oh, yes.
So,
Now, one side note I'd like to point out, costumes. A lot of people will comment about how the costumes changed from the comic book to the movie, but you need to stop and think about, well, looks good drawn on a page, may not and often won't look good done in live action. I mean, think about it real hard. Wolverine's classic yellow and blue outfit. In real life, that would look absolutely ridiculous.
it would just be so, yeah, what do you want, yellow spandex?
Exactly.
Hugh Jackman would be like, oh, Lord. But, you know.
That I wouldn't like to see Hugh Jackman's ass in spandex, but that's beside the point.
But they could make it black spandex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Iron Man-
Speaking of, there was this TV series of The Flash, and not only was The Flash really hot, there was a couple episodes that had the Trickster, and it was Mark Hamill, and oh my God, his little tush in spandex was wonderful. Anyway, we won't go there because that's
Anyway,
just nutty.
the Iron Man and Spider-Man are the two most faithful costume adaptations. Even they had some slight tweaks. Iron Man's
Yeah,
colors got dialed down.
they did wonderful things with the Iron Man costume just by
It's
darkening
gorgeous.
the colors, and it's beautiful. And of course, Batman is just going to be dark, black. That all they,
I
that all
like
they can
in the-
fiddle with is making the ears longer or shorter.
One of the things I liked in the second Batman in Dark Knight, was the discussion on modifying the costume so it can move his head.
Yeah, well, they did a lot of fun things in both those movies
Yes,
about
designing
the
the costume.
It's
in the
like,
meantime, sir,
uh-oh.
don't land on your head. Yes.
So, in conclusion, we'd like to just say
Some works. And
some
there are
of these work,
times
some of
where-
them don't reject something just because it came from a comic book, because some of these are freaking brilliant movies standing on their own.
Oh, yes. Titles we'd like to see come to the big screen. Elf Quest, Girl Genius, Gold Digger, Power Pack.
Okay, thank you. That is all.